All right. Well, let's see. What today I'm going to talk about the Associated Press. The Associated Press considers themselves to be a non-judgmental and very objective, but of course that's far from the truth. And I kind of resent the fact that what they try to do is they try to throw in their point of view without actually saying it. And you'll see things like they'll say Trump's unfounded, whatever. And well, the way I look at it, I'll figure out whether they're unfounded or not. I mean, that's not their job to do to do my thinking for me. Although probably a lot of people think that would be a good thing for somebody else to do my thinking. But they have a bias, and the bias comes through, and and so we've we've changed from a society that used to give us news to a society that really kind of gives us their views. And so there are very, very few outlets today, whether it be on the radio, whether it be on television, whether it be the newspapers, that really gives us an unfiltered view of the news. Thinking about um, with the with the newspapers a lot of times. If you look at the local newspaper that we have around, it looks like it's getting thinner and thinner. And I think the biggest thing in them is the obituaries. But other than that, you'll see one or two stringers, and these stringers, they don't get paid very well. And then you'll have maybe one or two columnists. But if you go to the newspaper, actually almost everything in the newspaper is says AP, and so this AP is pretty much marketing themselves throughout the country, and so you're getting one point of view, and that is the AP, and so whether you're in Chicago, New York, L.A., you're getting the AP's viewpoint, and that's probably not a good thing. It's probably a better thing to get some divergent viewpoints. One of the things that really kind of surprised me was uh, I get the Wall Street Journal, and I always thought with the Wall Street Journal, I said, "Oh, this guy Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal, so this newspaper is going to be far, far, far to the right." But I'm actually pretty surprised by that. It's not. It's pretty much mainstream, um, and they have a number of Democratic writers on staff, and it's not that infrequent that they will talk about things that are not in favor of Trump's agenda. So that kind of surprised me. So, but I've noticed that that the editorials and the letters to the editor, they're actually much more even-handed than something that you'll see in the Washington Post or in the New York Times, and so that's why I subscribe to it. I think it's a very good newspaper. And any rate, so and the thing I like about it, I think that they tend to be more objective. I'll say another thing that kind of um, it's a little bit controversial, but way back in the day, there was a newscaster. His name was Walter Cronkite, and everybody liked Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite, they used to refer to him as uh, Uncle Walter because Uncle Walter, when he said something, they felt that you could believe what he said, which was fine as far as it went. And he was a very distinguished looking guy. And, and he held himself in a dignified manner. But during the Vietnam War, he took it upon himself to to begin to criticize the Johnson administration, which I have no problem criticizing the Johnson administration. In fact, I got no great love for that guy or the administration or the people that were in it. But Walter Cronkite, he changed the atmosphere or the background of news. And so I think with Walter Cronkite, what happened was um, you began to get the personal view of the newscaster, and whether or not you agree with that or not, um, what happened was that you started getting individual viewpoints rather than the news, and so it's almost impossible today to get somebody on the news who is not opinionated and who you can tell right away as to what camp they're coming from, whether it be Democratic or Republican, which I think is not a good thing. I think it was a lot better when somebody just actually gave you the news. But people don't want that because it doesn't seem to be as interesting. And so they're more interested in getting somebody's viewpoint, uh, and that's really what somebody like myself is supposed to be doing, giving you their viewpoint. You know right away where I'm coming from. You know who I am, and um, and of course, there's all kinds of people on these podcasts, and so you've got your choice of hundreds of people, if not more than that. Whereas with the news, you've got a couple of the legacy news outlets, and so if that's what you're watching, if you're watching the news on television at night, you're ending up with these guys giving you their points of view, which, to my mind, is not a good thing. Anyway, that's my thought about the news. And one of the other things that I was watching, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and one of the things that this is an article from the Wall Street Journal, which I found quite surprising. They published an article from the Congressional Budget Office, and the gist of the article was that this Trump's new bill actually helps the rich a lot more than it helps the poor. And of course, that is not what you're hearing from the Republicans today. So I thought that it was very interesting that they had an article which seemed to be, if anything, contrary to the way in which Trump is talking about the budget. So I just thought it was interesting. The Congressional Budget Office tends to be rather non-political, and so for them to come out with something like that, I think, and for the Wall Street Journal to um, to uh, to publish it like that and to give it a prominent place in the newspaper, I think it shows that it tends to be a lot more even-handed than some of these other publications. Um, so what else can um, I think also another thing that I think that things right now in this country, by and large, as far as the economy is going, I think things are going relatively well. We have some domestic problems, there's no doubt about that. But I think economically, I think people are employed. I think people are making a halfway decent living, and so I think that's a good thing. I think the other thing that I think is problematical is um, is the is the problem that we have with ICE right now. They're trying to remove these people that have come into the country, and they're having a very difficult time trying to do that. And I think that's going to go on for quite some time. Um, so, um, so that's pretty much it. I think that you have a lot of hysterical voices talking about what a terrible thing it is for people that come into the country with all kinds of criminal records, and that we're trying to get rid of them. And I don't understand. I don't understand what the resistance is to that, because I think many of these people are some very bad people, and they deserve to be taken away as quickly as possible. And I think that the fact that they stay in the country any longer is going to hurt decent people, hurt people, and do bad things to people in bad in our society.